Light might just be one of the most broken classes in the finals right now. Heavies and mediums keep getting crushing nerfs, while light goes by unnoticed. With this being said, the light is not unstoppable in the current sandbox. 150 health is not a lot to work with, and most mediums and heavies can take out a light in a legit 1v1. But I keep finding myself trying a medium or heavy, only quickly switching back to light. And I think there's a couple of reasons for this. So let's start off with the light itself. Even though the light basically has no health compared to the medium and heavy, its weapons and gadgets make up for that discrepancy. People who play light effectively have gun and run tactics. They never stay in combat for too long and always have a means of escape, with either invis, dashing, or the grapple. The stun gun and sonars are also really good and allow the light to get the jump on someone else while also having a counter for a surprise attack. The weapons given to the light are fast firing and deal a lot of damage in a short burst of time. Most of the weapons are either really easy to use like the M11, or they're really niche but really fun, like the sniper and the throwing knives. All the aspects of the light tie into its main identity, movement and stealth. You dip in, do your damage, get out. It's incredible. But then we move on to the heavy. The heavy, according to Embark themselves, is the least used class in the finals. And yet they keep nerfing it. I understand that they also said heavy had one of the highest win rates, but I think that might be because all the casuals are playing light. I don't really think it has to do a lot with heavy itself being too overpowered. Heavy is not one of the most approachable classes in the finals, and it's mainly due to Embark itself. Its main identity is defense and destruction, so of course Embark nerfed their defense and destruction capabilities. The RPG now hits like a wet noodle, and the mesh shield seems to have been kicked while it was down. I know that breach charge got a buff, but the explosive mine got a nerf, so I think those two kind of cancel out. Embark stated that they wanted heavy to be more balanced in terms of power, while still making it very fun to play. And while they have buffed some of the weapons recoils, I've only really seen nerfs to the main fantasy of the class, as opposed to making it more fun. Now with the medium on the other hand, I think they have a bit of a different problem. They have what I think is somewhat of an identity crisis. They were originally a sonar and support class. They were supposed to gather intel and revive and heal teammates, but now the sonar has moved to light and I tend to see more turrets and healing beams when playing matches. There's still defibs, which should be in every medium's loadout, but it seems that the medium is only defined by a few gadgets and weapons. I don't really see medium as the healer class. There hasn't really been that much investment into that fantasy. You could argue that the medium is the movement class because of the zipline and jump pad, but that seems like the light should be the movement class, and light definitely outpaces the medium when it comes to movement. You could then say that medium is a cash out defense build. I see a lot of mediums setting up their guardian and APS turrets and then putting down a bunch of mines, which is really effective for a cash out defense, but I feel like that should also be a heavy thing. And I understand that there's an argument that medium kind of bridges the gap between light and heavy, so it should have aspects from both of those classes in it as well, and I more or less think that that's a cop-out. So if you put all the aspects of medium together, you have a class that's support, defense, and movement, with two of those aspects belonging to two other classes. I think that the medium should have its own distinct identity, and it's really up to Embark to decide what to do with it. This isn't a how to fix the medium video. I'm talking about this to put it in contrast with the light, whose main draw is clearly laid out to its original class. Now when it comes to the weapons in the sandbox, the medium and heavy weapons are definitely more difficult to use. There's definitely a skill gap there. And I think that would be fine if it was equal across all classes. I'm very much in the camp of don't nerf, buff. If some of your weapons are lagging behind, don't bring the rest of the sandbox down with it. Buff the struggling weapons. Embark has a history of nerfing good performing weapons, and when they do buff something, they sometimes double back on it. Back in the beta, I was a medium main. I had my AK, my recon senses, my sonar, my defibs. I was having the time of my life. The loadout fit very well with my playstyle, and I really enjoyed it. And I thought it was pretty balanced because I ended up using most of my mag to get a kill. It was pretty much even gunfights between me and the other player. So I thought I was in a pretty good place in the sandbox. I thought that maybe they move up the FCAR recoil a little bit just to make that a little better because it was kind of lagging behind back in the beta. And they did do that, but they also nerfed the hell out of the AK, which I didn't really understand all that much. And I stopped playing with the AK altogether, and I ended up moving to light, which also the sonars moved to light. So I was basically just playing what I was doing originally, just I wasn't having as much fun as I was back in the beta. That's kind of my reasoning for why I think we should be buffing stuff instead of nerfing it. If you nerf something, especially your highest performing weapon, people are just gonna move on to another weapon that's now the highest performing weapon. And you're just gonna end up keep on nerfing stuff. If people aren't having fun with the weapon anymore, they're just gonna look for another one until the sandbox is skewed toward another weapon. This is all to say that I don't think light needs a nerf. I think that overall the medium and heavy need to be brought back up in the sandbox. The medium needs a clear identity and the heavy needs its hallmark abilities to be potent. Embark needs to stop nerfing high performing weapons and start to bring up some of its lower performing weapons. Is this video gonna really change much? Probably not. If Embark does see this, they're probably not gonna make changes based on just one guy's opinion. But I just wanted to add to the conversation that's already been going around about the sandbox. And if you have any opinions on the current sandbox, which I'm sure that you do, be happy to hear about it in the comments section. This channel's still small enough where I can read the comments, which is kind of nice. Bit of a double-edged sword though, because I would like a lot more channel growth, and the best way to do that is by subscribing. So if you want to help this channel out, hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. See you later.